sorry. Have you ever been in a room full of people and still felt completely invisible? Not because people couldn't see you, but because no one actually understood what was going on inside your head. You can laugh with people, talk with them, sit next to them, and walk through the halls and still feel like nobody really hears you. And the worst part is, from the outside, everything looks completely normal. The truth is, we live in a world where people notice each other all the time, but actually understanding each other is becoming rare. Somewhere along the way, being seen started to matter more than being heard, and most people don't realize it's happening. There's a real difference between being seen and being heard, and most people don't even think about it. Being seen is surface level. It means someone notices you, recognizes your face, and hears your voice. But being heard is deeper. It means someone actually is listening and tries to understand what you're feeling, not just what you're saying. And that takes time, attention, and patience. Things that are becoming harder to give in a world that moves so fast. In reality, people are constantly distracted thinking about the next thing instead of the person right in front of them. So noticing someone is easy, but understanding them takes effort, and that's what people don't feel understood, and they start to shut down. They stop explaining themselves, they hold everything, and they begin to feel alone and overwhelmed, even when they're surrounded by people they love. And this isn't a feeling, it shows up in real life. According to national research from organizations like CDC and Pew Research, about 1 in 3 teenagers say they feel constantly overwhelmed by pressure. Around 40% of high school students report persistent sadness and hopelessness. And over 70% of school say school stress alone causes major pressure in their lives. The truth is, that means so many people are walking around every single day, hearing things that nobody else can see. And when no one takes the time and really listens, people don't feel unnoticed. They start to feel like they don't matter, not because they aren't seen, but because they aren't truly heard. For a long time, I didn't understand the difference. I thought if people noticed me, if they laughed at what I said, if they talked to me, included me, that meant they understood me. But this year showed me that wasn't true. This year changed me. I lost someone close to me, someone who could make anyone laugh, someone who knew exactly what to say to make people feel okay, and losing her didn't just hurt, it stayed with me and made everything feel heavier. Because at the same time, I was already struggling in ways no one really could see. For years, I didn't know how to handle what I was feeling, so I hid it and dealt with it in own ways that didn't actually help me. And this year, everything built up, to the point where I felt completely stuck. There were days I physically couldn't get out of bed, not because I didn't want to go, but because it felt like I couldn't. I would lay there for hours staring at the ceiling, thinking about everything and nothing at the same time, knowing I needed to get up, but I couldn't move. Sometimes I would cry, and sometimes I wouldn't feel anything at all. And honestly, that was the scariest part, because when you start to feel nothing at all, you start doing anything just to feel something again, and I did. I made choices that weren't good for me, trying to escape what was going on in my own head, but not actually fixing it. At the same time, I started disappearing from people. I stopped showing up, I pushed people away, and I stopped explaining myself. I know people noticed, but in reality, I had already convinced myself that it didn't matter. Because when you feel like no one understands you, you start to believe no one ever will. And then everything caught up to me all at once. I reached a place where I didn't see a way out. Not just a thought, but a moment where I actually acted on it. And I'm standing here right now because that moment did not become my ending. But what changed wasn't everything all at once. It was one moment. It was realizing that I couldn't keep living like that anymore. That staying silent was hurting me more than speaking up ever could. And for the first time, instead of pushing everyone away, I let someone see it. I said something, not perfectly, not all at once, but enough for someone to finally hear me. Looking back, I realized I didn't want actually everything to end. The truth is, I just didn't know how to keep living the way I was for so long. I thought I had to handle everything on my own, so I stayed quiet and let people see the version of me that seemed okay, even when I wasn't. But opening up, that's what started to change things. It didn't fix everything overnight, but it made things feel less heavy. I started getting real support, and I'm still healing, but not where I was before. And that's what made me understand all of this. Because people were seeing me the whole time, but they weren't really hearing me. Not because they didn't care, but because I didn't know how to let them in. So, what do we actually do about this? The truth is, it starts with something simple, but something people don't actually do: listening. Not waiting for your turn to talk, not half paying attention, but actually trying to understand someone. In reality, a lot of people are not okay, even if they seem to be. And the simple phrase, "I'm fine," doesn't mean someone is okay. It usually means they don't know how to explain their feelings. What you can do is notice smaller things. Check in on people even if they say they're fine. Ask again. Stay a little longer in conversations. Put your phone down when someone is speaking and make eye contact. Let people feel like what they're saying actually matters, because sometimes the smallest moments of being heard can mean everything to someone who's been silent for so long. There's actually a quote that says, "The single biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it has taken place," and that is exactly what it is. We think we are listening. We think we understand each other, but in reality, most of the time we don't go deep enough to actually hear what someone is saying. And at the same time, being heard also means to be honest. It means letting people see more than the version of you let out, even when that's uncomfortable. Because the truth is, people can't understand what you never let them see. And I know that's hard, but staying silent can even feel heavier. At the end of the day, I don't think people are looking for attention as much as they are looking for understanding. Attention is temporary. It comes and goes, but being heard stays with you. It reminds you that you matter, that someone actually took the time to understand you. So maybe the goal was never to be seen. Maybe it's to make people feel heard. Because sometimes the loneliest feelings in the world isn't being alone. It's surrounded by people who see you but don't really know you. And the truth is, you never know what someone is carrying quietly. So take the time to listen, and really listen, because you might be the reason someone finally feels heard. And these are the people who saved me. Thank you.